Hey guys, in our first episode of our Women in the Arts segment, under the theme A Love for Music, we'll be featuring our guest speaker, Doneida Simpson. Miss Doneida Simpson has received gold medals at the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, as well as national trophies. She's a former Miss Trelawney Festival Queen 2002. She started recording her music in the year 2008. She has performed at various places. To include a few, she sang at the grand opening at the Fairview Mall in Montego Bay, as well as the Jamaica Building Expo as well in Montego Bay. She also sang on a continuous basis at the Coffee and Cream Cafe in Montego Bay. Guys, help me welcome my guest speaker, a singer, a phenomenal and beautiful singer, Doneida Simpson.
You were hurting for a while. Now you found your smile. No more tears are left to cry. No, you were taken by surprise. You thought you'd end your life, but just look how you survived.
Hi everyone, thank you again for tuning into my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Kyla Wright, and in our first episode of our Women in the Arts segment, we'll be focusing on the theme, A Love for Music. And here with me is an extraordinary, an amazing, a beautiful and phenomenal singer. This lady has received gold medals and national trophy at the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, JCDC, and she's a former Miss Trelawney Festival Queen 2002. She started recording her music in 2008. I tell you guys, this is an extraordinary woman. She's phenomenal and she's just an amazing singer. So I can't wait for you guys to just dive into this discussion with her and help me welcome my guest speaker, Doneida Simpson. Hi Doneida, how are you?
Hi, Kyla. I'm very well. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm happy that you were able to join me in this discussion. I mean, the art is something that I'm very passionate about as well. And I just love to see when women even, dive into this passion of theirs and just try their best to go on that path. If they know that they're talented about it, they know that God gave them this gift and to just pursue it. Because, I mean, it's not only academical things that are in this world, just the mere fact that actors are there to entertain us, are there to entertain doctors and lawyers when they get home from a stressful court case or a surgery. It's necessary to keep the world vibrant. And so we do have a place, women who are talented and have these gifts, these God-given gifts. We do have a place here in the world. So I'm happy that you're here to join me in this discussion to empower other women in the arts.
It's my pleasure. It's definitely my pleasure. It's a passion of mine, so I'm happy to speak on it whenever I can.
Yes, and I mean, guys, she's very passionate. This is why I had to give it the theme, A Love for Music, because when I met this lady, I could definitely tell that she is definitely passionate about her music, definitely passionate about singing. She also is a songwriter, and trust me, she's excellent at the lyrics that she writes, and it's very touching as well. If you check out her music, we haven't reached to that point as yet, but if you check out her music, trust me, you'll realize what I'm talking about. She's an amazing singer, guys. So it's definitely, I really am appreciative of the fact that she's here to join us and to empower other women in the arts, as mentioned before. So thank you, Doneida.
And thanks for having me.
All right, Doneida, so let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
You ready?
I am ready. Let's talk about it. It's a lot to unpack.
Right. So, Doneida, what or who made you fall in love with music?
I thought about this question and I pinpointing it down to a what or a who is kind of difficult. I feel like as Jamaicans, because proud Jamaican, I feel like we are born with a love for music. And we grew up listening to our parents playing different records on the radio. And of course, it was no different for me. My mom played a lot of music in the house. And it just felt really nice to bounce with, to sing along with and stuff. In terms of performing music, though, I feel like when I probably went to college and was exposed to entering into the festival competitions and just seeing that and hearing melodies, because at that point I was part of a group. I love harmony. That's kind of my signature thing in terms of being a singer, even though I do solo. I really love to do my harmonies. So even with my tracks, you'll hear harmonies a lot in there because that's kind of where the love is, when voices blend together and it just melodious. Music is a thing that takes you places. So if you're sad or if you're happy, there's always some kind of music that can connect you at that point and either elevate you or take you down depending on what you really need. So music is like medicine. So I think at somewhere in between my college, teenage years and early 20s, I really developed a real love for the art of music.
Wow. And I'm happy that you touch on the fact that the effect that music have on us human beings, because I say this a lot, that music influence our lives. And I say this because looking at Bob Marley, a lot of people, I don't think they realize the impact, the specific impact that this man made. This man caused certain wars happening in various countries to, calm down. You understand? This man brought two political parties together to join in peace and unity. This man spread love and unity and peace to the entire world, and you can see that this is what our world needs. And Bob Marley realized that, and then he just pushed that out there through music, and it touched the heart of so many that today he is still recognized for that impact that he made in people's life.
Indeed.
So I'm happy that you touched on that, because a lot of persons wonder if music have influence on our lives, and so I'm very happy that you touched on that.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly definitely an impact, and in good ways and in bad ways. And of course, we know how that's affecting society now with the type of music that our young ones are listening to, or even older persons as well. So we have to be very careful with the art, and we can use it to do good as well as we can use it to do bad. So we have to be careful. It's very much sensitive that way.
Exactly. So I'm happy Doneida touched on that, guys. And you see, I tell you that she's passionate about her music. See, she's able to tell you the different sides of music and how it brings people together and how it can, make you feel down, because she dives into it. She knows about it. So thank you, Doneida.
No problem.
All right, so our second question: what are some of the challenges you face in embracing the music industry, especially as a female?
That's a lot to unpack there, because there's challenges in the music industry overall. And then you said as a female.
As a female.
And that is the tricky one. I think one of the things to point out is that most of the time as artists, I think you have two sets of artists. You have the set of artists that knew from day one that they wanted to be an artist. And they probably grew up around persons who are in the business. They're probably the father singer or the brother or whatever. So they had access to studios or access to media. And then you have the other persons who just have raw talent and passion. They just know that they love to sing, and they might find themselves writing a song and they're intrigued to get into the industry, but they have no idea how it works. And I kind of find myself in the latter, because I never had easy access to studios or to media houses. And so even for me now, still pushing the music, it takes a lot to know the right persons, to know the right medium. And of course, the music business isn't taught in school. We learn how to play the keyboard or what do you call this again? recorder.
Right.
Recorder. And we know music notes, but we don't know about the music business. And so as a female artist and an artist in general as well, you have to really study. You have to do your research. You have to get with the right people. And that's also another tricky thing, because the persons who know the business sometimes are very crafty. And so I know recently, if you follow the media, there's this thing with Beyonce and Kyla and her song and the sample and stuff. But I point that out just to say that, you know, she was probably a young artist who never really knew everything that needed to be signed and sealed. And so her song, no, she doesn't have rights to it. And it's a big hoo-ha. You know, and that's just a simple example of how things sometimes, as an artist who doesn't have people in the business or who doesn't have a knowledge of the business, you find that no, you get the raw end of the stick, right? For lack of a better word. So you don't know where to go. You don't know how to do it. You know you want to sing, but you don't know how to get your song on the radio. And if you get your song on the radio, you don't know how to get money from, because for a lot of my career, I can't tell you that my music career, that is, I can't tell you that I've earned a significant amount of money, because a lot of my music was done free in the studio, where I was just lucky enough to come across some good fellows who allowed me to record music. Yes, we published them on the YouTube and we tried to sing them here and there, but we never really got into, or I never got an opportunity whereas I could really allow this to work for me. So that's some of the I think that's major challenge, is knowing. So knowledge is power, and then there's the support. Because if you don't have friends or family or just acquaintances who can actually guide you correctly, then is another way you can fall off the wagon. Because sometimes you even know persons in the industry, but they're not willing to help. And that's unfortunate in the music industry, that a lot of people sometimes hog their information or hog their resources, or, you know, ways that they can help to boost you. They don't always go for it. So that's another challenge. And I spoke about the access. And so the payola thing, I don't know if you're accustomed to that word, but that's a big thing as well. I used to think, before I started being able to produce music, I thought that it was an easy thing to just get your song played on the radio, until I tried getting my song played on the radio. And even though I remember at one point I had a friend who worked in the radio industry, and he low-key pretty much asked me for some change to get the music played. You know, and as a young upcoming artist who probably don't have the resources, because I guess that's why some people with money will be able to push their stuff, whether it's good or not, because they pay their way through. But for upcoming artists, you know, there are not a lot of avenues for your music to get pushed. And that's why I like the JCDC or the song competitions, or even Digital Rising Stars. That's a little foot. You know, so I appreciate those things, but then that again is another form of boy is who know who sometimes get picked. They will tell you behind the scenes it's not really a matter of the talented ones. You know, God bless those who have gone through just off their, you know, talents. But a lot of it is because of who know who. So that's some of the challenges. And then I think the last thing I'd want to say for a female artist is, of course, you have the physical. We're highly sexualized, highly put into a box. So if you're not a particular skin color,
complexion,
and I hate that I had to say that, but
it's true. It is true.
It is what it is. I can't be naive about it at this point in time. Even in 2022, skin color still is very heavy in deciding whether or not you are worth people's time to look. And then we have the body enhancements that are going on right now. So it's no longer about talent. It's very much about look. Image is everything, and I like image because I like to look presentable. But when you talk about altering your image, that's a completely different game that it just makes things a little bit, you know, sometimes you just want to stay away. because it doesn't even make sense to compete with these things that are not even real. So I know it was a lot to unpack, but
and it's
that's
very
just
substantial. It is very substantial.
Real stuff, real stuff, real stuff. So it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of determination, it takes a lot of drive. If you really, really want to do it, there are ways and you will get there. I believe that. But when you face all of these things, you can just imagine why female artists especially will end up just giving up at some point or another.
It's true. It's pure fact, because even Spice said the same thing. I mean, she spoke about the complexion aspect of the music business where female artists are concerned. And so I know that what Doneida is saying is very factual. It's so true. It's a harsh reality. But as she mentioned as well, it is still possible, because even though Spice had it hard as well, I mean, that lady has been trying for years.
Years.
Years upon years upon years, and she'll tell you that it is far from easy. She should just get Queen of Dancehall at some fest. So kudos to her.
Kudos to her. Hard work. And that's why I say hard work will pay off in the end. And we also have to be careful, because sometimes the price will pay as well. Just to get what we know we deserve, you're like, is it worth it? So kudos for all. And there's a lot of female in the industry right now. So I will give my hats off to them that, despite all odds, they're still pushing through. But I know that there are also artists who are doing music that they don't really want to do, but they're only doing it because, number one, the producer says so, or it is what is selling, or that's the only way to get attention. It's very obvious. You will see one particular song get a certain type of ooh-ha, and then another song will just not go anywhere. And the one that is conscious sometimes is left behind.
So you see, guys, the struggle is real, and you don't want to, gain the world and lose your soul. So you don't want to put on the enhancement just so that you can please the world and reach somewhere. I mean, if it is something that you're really passionate about, other women in the field have been succeeding. You understand? Right. If you look at artists like Tessa and Shane, it's not easy. Yes, it is not easy.
Yes, and they've all talked about
easy.
Yeah.
It is not. And the thing is, are you willing, as Doneida mentioned? That's why I just love, you see, Doneida studies her craft and she has been in the business, so she knows. As Doneida mentioned, are you willing to do all of these things and just strip who you are as a person, as a human being, just so that you can get this, as we in Jamaica call it, the boss, or on the larger scope, the stardom or the fame? Right. Are you willing to do that? Other women out there are trying, and when they try and they make a little wave here and there, it worth something to them. Because I always tell persons that it feels good when I learn to tie my shoes lace for the first time, and the fact that I did it, and just the fact that I worked hard for it, it felt good. The struggle is there, but when the victory comes, if you don't have a storm, if you didn't have a testimony, it doesn't even feel good. It doesn't even feel victorious. It just feel like you just land there, and you had to do this, you had to do that. You put on this body, you put on this breast, you put on that bottom, and you're just here. How do you sleep at night? You understand? Yeah. You want to feel comfortable with yourself.
Like everybody else. You're out here looking like everybody else. Like, where is your unique, authentic self? What makes you different than anybody else? You're just looking like everybody and sounding like everybody. I know when authenticity came in, and everybody's find auto-tune them voice, and you don't hear who they really are, so you can't even distinguish the artist from another artist. So, it's a lot to unpack. I remember I saw Prodigy and the girls, Lila Ike and Naomi Campbell and Savannah. It was such a rich, rich thing. And I loved their music. And that was something that I was more drawn to, like, as an individual and in the industry.
Yeah.
And
these are some slim ladies, some skinny, beautiful ladies. Trust me, gorgeous.
Yeah.
All of them.
They're not getting as much exposure as persons who are choosing to sing other things.
And they're talented. Just like Doneida, they are talented, and Doneida is talented, guys. Doneida might seem very, points about it, and but she is. And if you listen to her music, you will hear it. And Doneida is slim and beautiful.
Now make it again, girl. I want you.
No. Listen. Let me tell you, natural beauty and who you are as a human being will always make it. You see, and people have to come back to this because they're taking the human body as a form of trend, right? So in one era, in one generation, you'll have skinny wearing. And then in the next era now, you have a bit of the curvy side wearing. And
exactly.
So it's just like a hairstyle, and it's just like clothes, and it's just like a phone. The Apple phone comes out with the next version. The human body comes out with the next version, right? Before, it's cream hair and used to wear for Black women. Now we're coming into our authentic self, the natural hair, and you have other races even patterning this thing, right?
Exactly. Hair girls, yeah.
The bottom and the breast was not the ideal type of body before, and now
really
it is.
wasn't.
So we're now a trend. The very human body that is real and have a heartbeat is a trend, like clothes and shoes and phone. That's ridiculous, because all the things that I listed out a while ago are materialistic things.
Materialistic.
And the human being is alive. You understand?
So you see, we're watering down our thing.
It's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah. But as we mentioned, ladies, it is still, even though we have all of these things, you have to know yourself, know what you want in life, and work hard for what you want. Because as Doneida mentioned, there are competitions. They have Digital Rising Star. For the woman that can DJ, you have Magnum. I think even Shani Muir went on I think it was Magnum that Shani Muir went on.
I've tried to make the connection. I didn't know, but now that you say, because I used to watch a show a lot, I know that you say that thing, so
yeah,
it would make sense. She's doing well for herself. I really admire that. Yeah.
And what I love about her, what she said at Sumfest, she said she came out in a white robe, and she said a lot of persons, a lot of people, they want. I'm not quoting her completely as word for word, but I'm just paraphrasing. So what she said was that a lot of people would rather a woman talk about her private area rather than talk about things of substance. And that is why she came out with a full-blown white robe, but she had something underneath it to give the people a little bit of what they want. But she mentioned it at first and said she know if it is that a girl is not talking about her private area, nobody will rail up. And she was right. The girl come on and singing this conscious music, and what a
no reaction.
No reaction. You understand? And then at the last part, she sing her Yamabella song, which is a song that puts her on the scene, and that song speaks about women as well. And what Shani Muir, I think Shani Muir loves to sing about is women empowerment. And the music industry need a lot of women to speak about women empowerment, because females it is difficult.
They need to continue speaking about it, and this is a part of it, what I said, because we've had female artists come out and be all empowering and all of that. It changes slowly after that, because it's all about relevance, and so they lose themselves and they lose the core of what they started off as. So they just need to sing it, preach it, but continue to do it, and don't get caught up in the hype. But it is a way of our society. So, some people will endure, some people will have to just go. And that's just diversity of life. So
That's true. And the thing is, I see where they're trying, because even Spice came out with a whole controversial song about the
yeah,
complexion. So there are women
right.
out there trying to push for it, which is what, because
Mhm.
it's difficult in the music industry, as Doneida mentioned. It is not easy. So if you're coming into it, come into it with faith, yes. Come into it with a strong mindset that you're not changing for anybody. You're
Right.
being true to who you are and what you're about.
Mm-hmm.
Full
Absolutely.
stop. So, as Doneida mentioned, enter competitions. Tessa did the
Mhm.
same thing, The Voice.
Mhm.
Enter competitions.
Yes, yes, and I remember that when she had entered as
JCDC,
well,
all of those
persons
things.
were shocked, like, how a singer like her would want to enter The Voice. But we have to just always be searching for opportunities and stuff
Right.
because it's so limited. Yeah. Mhm.
And as you say, if you don't have that type of links and you're not willing to do certain things, as you say, just take your time. Do the JCDC. Doneida herself have done JCDC, gold
Mhm.
medals, national trophy. Go through the competitions,
Yeah.
and let you and start from there. So
Yeah.
don't sell out yourself. Be true to who you are, and try, as Doneida, try those recommendations and
Mhm.
try the competitions. A lot of these artists, as she said, even Tessa, a lot of people wonder why, but
Yes.
it's a next opportunity. So do that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, so that was a fruitful discussion on just that topic. It's a
Just
lot.
on that topic alone, right?
Yeah, as Doneida said, we had to
Yeah,
unpack
there's
a
a
lot
lot
with
to speak
that.
of. Yeah, and I'm sure I didn't even touch on other things because, like I said, for me, I was never a part of a huge studio house, so I don't even know what that dynamic is when you have a lot of competing artists under the same label. I don't know what that story is about. Even with performance, like I've done a few performances and I've asked for what I want, and then I negotiate from that standpoint. But I can't compare to say how much I would get versus a male artist within my same expertise, or what do you call it now, tenure, like a young artist just like me as a male versus female, because there's some inequality as well. But I can't even speak about that because I don't have first-hand knowledge, so I'd rather leave that alone. But there's a lot of challenges. So like I said, if you want to do it in the music industry, and I know this is one of the things that we wanted to talk about in terms of steps. And my first thing is just get educated. And it doesn't mean that you have to go to a school. Right now, the internet is a very resourceful place, especially YouTube. You can learn a whole lot. Ask questions, and really research what you're getting into. Before even signing contracts as well, is very important for you to know what you're signing as well. Know what you want as well, because like I said, you have some people who do it for the love of the music, and you have some people who just do it for the money, or some people do it for the fame. You really have to know what you're doing it for, and then based on that, then you can determine how much work and effort and what price you're willing to pay, if you're going to go through it with a genuine, authentic approach, or if you're just going to want to be like everybody else to catch it fast.
Facts. A word. So you guys, women, take it from Doneida, and that was a mouthful. It's very substantial. So take that, trust me. All right, guys. So we're going to move on to our third topic, and that is, what are some of the recommended steps to pursue music, even though Doneida, yeah, we touched on that. So really and truly, we don't have to go back through it, because we spoke at length where that is concerned. We spoke about the fact that you can enter competitions, all of those things. So, and even Doneida mentioned before, in terms of on the next level, she don't really want to touch on what she's not so acquainted with. So she's giving you on the surface of what she has been exposed to, and what she has experienced in her time in the music industry. So yeah.
And another thing to point out as well is that the music industry is quite wide as well. So you don't have to always look at it from a standpoint of being an artist, a recording artist. Songwriting is a very reputable career choice as well in the music industry. I've come to know a lot of songwriters that are making a lot of money just the same, but they're just not the ones singing the songs. And they write for all people, like every artist who out there making them name. There are some songwriters behind them. So that's why I said to get to know the industry and get to know what part you're very passionate about. I like singing and performing, so that's for me. And yeah, I write my songs as well. But for some others, it might not just be about performing. It might just be about writing. It might be about producing. It might just be about, just something else in the industry, media representation, or working with other artists as well. So just know what it is that you want from the industry and then find the right steps to get you there.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Doneida. All right, guys, we don't have a lot of time, but we have time for the last question. What is your advice to women who are discouraged to pursue music due to fear, feeling inadequate, or simply comparing themselves to other artists?
Well, it's something that you would apply to life in general. Feeling of fear or inadequacy comes across in our lives as individuals, whether or not we are a good woman in terms of relationships, or whether at the workplace, if I can become a leader. And so in music, it's no different. And I think one of the first things is to know yourself, know who you are and what you're about, and stand firm in that. Just try not to let anybody alter or dissuade or change who you are, or have some negative influence on who you are. You're gonna come across things that may break you for a little bit, or tarnish what you thought you believed in for a little bit, but you always have to come back to the center. For me, I'm a Christian, so God has always been a center, a part of and a very important part of my life. So anytime I feel discouraged, or anytime I feel like, what am I doing? What is my purpose? I always come back to the center, and He always finds a way to speak to us. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, God speak to you," but just through people. I remember once I was reading. Because I've been back and forth with music for a lot of times, because I was like, I love singing and all of that, but do I need to pursue it as an artist, and do I need to keep, like, sometimes I feel like nobody knows how you listen to me, like you sing too much. And I remember I was in my car one day and I was reading a book, and it was just about I think it was a Steve Harvey book. And it wasn't about music, but he made an example in his book. And he talked about knowing your purpose. And again, I'm going to try and paraphrase because I don't remember it line for line, but it resonated with me, because he said, if it is something, even if you're not getting paid for, and you still want to do it, even when nobody really wants to listen to you, if you still want to do it, that is your purpose. And if you are known for it, that is your purpose. And then soon after, a guy passed and says, "Sing a walk on," and I'm like, okay then.
Wow, look at that. Look at God.
And it's a simple thing, but you're known for it, you love it, and it's just something that always keeps circling back. So even though 2 days, 2 weeks, maybe 2 years, you might not pick it up, but then something hits you in your soul and you're like, I'm back on it, and it's like you fall in love all over again. So believe in yourself, stay true to who you are, and always come back to the center.
Word, that was powerful, because even I started reflecting the moment you just started mentioning that, and that experience that you have. So I mean, that really hit me on a certain core as well. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. No, it really did. It really did. So I mean, others out there, other women out there, I really hope and I pray that you'll be empowered by this conversation, by Doneida's testimony, and by her message. Apologies for the dog outside. That's my baby. Apologies, guys. Probably somebody's outside, but thank you again, Doneida. I appreciate it. And on that, And that note, guys, we'll have to close off because I don't know what is happening with my baby outside, but
All right. Take care of business. Thanks for
yes.
having me, and all
All
the
right.
best to all the
And
women
you
out
guys
there.
can follow Doneida on all her social media handles, which will be in the description below. So I'll leave those there, and you'll also see them at the end of this video. So check her out, guys. She's an amazing and a phenomenal singer, guys. And I think
Thanks,
Doneida also
Kyla.
has her own podcast, you said? Was it a
I
podcast?
did have some. It need a little updating right now. I did have a series of podcasts last year. I'm going to be coming out with a new season, but you know, I'm always
Awesome.
trying to dabble in a lot of stuff, so you'll be hearing from me.
Okay. Well, thank you, Doneida. And as I said, guys, her social media handles, all of them will be in the description below. So, guys, check her out. Check out her lyrics. She has an amazing songs out. So just go check out her